Welcome everyone, Xana here, and today what I'm going to do is my review of Kubuntu 12.0. 12.04, already screwed up, oh well. So, I'm going to give my personal opinion of the appearance, performance, the pre-installed software that comes with it, some issues, and overall, my overall opinion of this operating system. Now, let's get started. First off, as you can tell by the title, Kubuntu is a KDE-based desktop operating system, just like Linux Mint KDE 12. And the reason why I've chosen this operating system, if I haven't mentioned it in past videos, it is because Morrison Institute of Technology uses Kubuntu for many of their networking and administration classes. So I decided to natively install it on my computer, right alongside Windows, so I can boot back into Windows to play Team Fortress 2. Alright, so let's get started with the appearance. Now, first off, I personally like the KDE interface. Normally the bar would be down here, but I decided to put it up here, resembling the Mac and GNOME style type of interface. And as you see, I have a lot of icons here on my super bar. I don't know what else to call it, and I don't care. Ranging from Mozilla Firefox all the way to Banshee. So, let's see. Going even further into appearance, if I go under Configure Search, here we are at the basic appearance of the desktop, ranging from the wallpaper all the way to the different type of layout. As you see, I have Search and Launch, which would be this type of interface, which basically is a very simplified way of finding stuff. Let's say that you don't have any icons up here. You can just click on Internet, click on what you're looking for. Let's say Thunderbird. It launches, and it goes right down there to my most recent, and it goes right up here as well, so I can close it just like a normal window. Let's see. Next, we got the basic Wallpaper Slideshow. If I just go back to desktop and apply it, you can see here that it does also a slideshow, unlike GNOME and many of the other GNOME Linux operating systems. I really don't like the fact that many of the GNOME operating systems don't come with wallpaper slideshows, kind of like Windows. And you have to install a separate program like Walsh. That really does not appeal to me. I like KDE mainly because of how much more customability it has. So let me just switch this back to Search and Launch. Okay. And let's go back to something else. Alright. Going to System Settings and going back under to Workspace Appearance. Here's where you can customize the overall theme of your desktop. Right now I have Oxygen, which is the blackish type of theme. I can switch it to Plastic. If I apply it, it looks kind of plasticky. And then all the way to the very top here, I got B2. Personally, I like Oxygen, so I'm going to switch it back to Oxygen. And I've messed around with some of the colors, and that's probably why this is black as well. And then you can also do your cursor, desktop theme, and splash screen. Now, as I said back in my Linux Mint KDE 12 review, the splash screen is the screen right after you press enter, basically letting you know the progress of logging on and confirming the password. And just like any other KDE operating system, you can also install more desktop drapes, which is something I really find really fun to do. I know you can do that with Windows, but Linux, it's much more free, and it's much more, how should I put it, you can find a lot more from users on Linux. Yeah, I know I keep stuttering, but yeah, this is scripted. I do have a script right here, but it's not really what you would call a script. It's just a note saying what should I do in order. Alright, so back on target. I really like the overall appearance of Kubuntu and many of the KDE operating systems. I really wish that I could customize this just like they did in Linux Mint KDE. I overall give the appearance a 10 out of 10. Alright, second, we are going to go to the performance. Now, I've been noticing that this operating system really has not made my laptop's fan speed go up at all, mainly because my laptop is stationary, but sometimes I take it off just to have it with me when I'm sitting in bed. I really like that. I'm not sure how much it's using. Let's go under System Monitor. Where are you? Here we go. System Monitor. There's nothing really. Let's see. System mode. Here we go. I haven't really read any CPU, but looking at this, there's not really much happening. Aside for the fact that VLC is my desktop capture, and it's using some and more than half of my CPU. This operating system really is not a memory waster at whatsoever, and I've got 1 gigabyte out of 5.8, which is pretty good. This operating system, along with many Linux operating systems except for Ubuntu, and many other KDE operating systems, I have to say, is one of the fastest I've seen. I don't want to test the speed between Linux Mint and this, but I'm pretty sure they'd be equal. Alright, next we're going to go to Preinstalled Software. Now, one of the major downsides of Kubuntu, personally for me, was the software center that originally came with this, which would be Muon. I have to say, this software center is one of the worst I have ever seen, period, the end. But there is a way around this software center by simply going into terminal and typing in sudo space apt-get space install software -center. That will install the Ubuntu Software Center, and that will give you all the software goodies you have been missing out on. And this applies for more than half of the Linux operating systems out there. I'm not totally sure which do not accept it, but for me, this works. And for Linux Mint KDE, it also worked. Alright. And also, when you get this operating system, it also comes with Armok, which is a media player. Personally, I like Banshee because I quote-unquote grew up with it when I first used Linux. I'd prefer Songbird, but sadly, they quit the Linux distributions, and I've tried getting the alpha version, the alpha 1.8. I could not find it anywhere. And so, I'm stuck with this. This is why I do not use my phone with this operating system, period, the end. I mainly use just that media player just because I can play stuff with it. I would use VLC, but, I don't think so. Let's see, what else do I have to do? The only real issues I have with this operating system is, okay, on an HP Pavilion DV6, there are 4 USBs. There are 2 on the very top near the power source, and then there are some right near the headphone ports. The one near the headphone ports do not work, or how should I put it? They do not read my Turtle Beach when I am using it with Linux. It does not read anything when I'm using Linux in those ports. The only thing they do is provide power for anything that gets plugged into there. I have no idea why. They work perfectly well with Windows, and I've tried reinstalling Kubuntu to see if that fixed the problem. It did, but then it didn't. I have honestly no idea what's going on. I think it's more of a software issue with Kubuntu than it is hardware, because if Windows can obviously read it, then they're working properly. I honestly have no idea. Overall, with this operating system, I really love it. I wish they could have had more wallpapers, just like they put in with Linux Mint KDE, but that's Linux Mint. If they could only put more wallpapers in here, that would really make me happy, because along with my usual wallpapers that keep scrolling every 2 minutes, 10 seconds, I also like to see some of the OEM's the OEM's wallpapers in here as well. Overall, I give this total operating system a 9 out of 10. The one point missing would be the 2 USB ports on my left side of my laptop. They do not seem to work with this operating system, period, the end, other than providing power to anything that gets plugged into them. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. VLC is done. Stopping the recording in 3, 2, 1, 0.